Hi, I'm Sev7N, a college student from the Philippines. For the past few years, I've been learning game development, experimenting with ideas, and starting project after project. But there's one problem. I've never actually finished a game, so I'm changing that. Welcome to my journey of creating my very first complete game from the first idea all the way to release. You'll see everything. The planning, the programming, the art, the bugs, the mistakes, the redesigns, and hopefully, a finished game at the end. No pretending everything goes perfectly. Just the real process of an indie developer learning and improving one step at a time. I'll be building this game using Godot, a free and open source game engine that's lightweight, beginner-friendly, and powerful enough for both 2D and 3D games. Whether you're just curious about game development or you're also trying to build your own game, I hope this series gives you inspiration and maybe even helps you avoid some of the mistakes I'll make along the way. If you're learning Godot or game development too, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer your questions, and maybe we can learn together. So, let's stop leaving projects unfinished and start making a real game. As you can see, I have so many unfinished projects. Let's start by creating a new project. I will be naming this Sorry. Click Create. Let's wait for Godot to load. First, I created a root node for my map. Node is like a folder that can be also contain other node. This isn't a tutorial, so I won't dive too deeply into the technical side of things, but if you're interested in how I made something, let me know in the comments and I can make a dedicated tutorial about it. I'll add plane to be the floor of the map and make it a lot bigger. Here I'm using CSG constructive solid geometry to graybox the level. Grayboxing is the process of creating a simple version of the map using basic shapes, allowing me to focus on the layout, scale, and player flow before spending time on detailed models or textures. One of the things I like about this workflow is that these CSG meshes can be exported to Blender. Once they're there, I can use them as a foundation to model the environment, add more detailed assets, and apply textures. This saves time because I can test and refine the gameplay first before committing to the final visuals. Now let's create the player so that we can move and look around the map. Let's add character body of 3D as our base node. And add collision shape 3Ds so that we can collide with other assets in the game. After that, I also add mesh instance body 3D so that we can see the bean character. I actually forgot to record this part, but I set up a couple of new nodes to handle the camera's yaw and pitch rotation. Separating these rotations makes the camera movement feel much smoother and gives me better control over how a player looks around. And here's the code for the character controller. Godot uses its own scripting language called GDScript, which is designed specifically for the engine. Its syntax is clean and easy to read, making it one of the easiest programming languages to pick up, especially if you're new to game development. Next, I'll be adding some new input maps for my character controller. In Godot, an input map lets you define actions, like moving, jumping, sprinting, or interacting, and bind them to one or more keys, mouse buttons, or controller inputs. Instead of checking for specific keys in the code, I can simply check for an action, which makes the controls much easier to manage and change later. It's a simple feature, but it helps keep the code cleaner and makes it easier to support different input devices in the future. Let's now close this down and open our game scene. Click the play button and select current scene. Here you can see that we are falling. I forgot to put collider to the plane mesh and to the other assets. So let's add collision shape 3D to our plane. I will also put it as a child of a static 3D. Let's try it again. As you can see, we can now walk through the map. Now let's add a directional light. You can think of it as the sun emits light from a single direction, lighting the entire scene instead of a specific area. By rotating it, I can change the direction and angle of the sunlight, which also affects the shadows and the overall mood of the environment. With the directional light in place, the map is finally lit up, making it much easier to see the layout and continue building the level. I will now tweak some parts of the map and add more assets. Time-lapse time. After tweaking a few parts of the map and making some adjustments to the layout, it's time to test everything again. Iterating like this is a big part of game development playtesting. Helps me spot issues early and make the gameplay feel better before moving on. For the next episode, I'll be creating the storage racks and implementing the placement system, so we'll finally be able to start building the core gameplay mechanics. See you in the next one.